Hi, hello. I have no choice but to hold this one. It's still me, still the great teacher Alcantara, probably. And I'm welcoming you to the start of the end, the beginning of the end. And for this one right here, we're going to talk about how to create your digital geometric artwork in line with the Synergized Beta Project MP4. Let's just jump right into it. For this in particular, the application that I'm using is called Autodesk Sketchbook. It's both available for Android and Apple devices. The important thing here that I've been mentioning is that first you have to find this image that you would like to base your work on. This works both for rotoscoping or having a basis for an image. So basically, if you're not inclined with sketching without a guide, it is suggested to you for you to somewhat work on it by tracing the image of the species that you chose or that was assigned to you. Now, in this thing that I've been maximizing is the concept of symmetry. The image itself is not symmetrical, so what I will do here is I will simply use a side of Garfield's face here in order to make the basis or the outline of the artwork. If you notice in the screen, there are options wherein you have the symmetry, which you can click. You can see it on the top of the screen. And at the same time, you can notice that I've been adjusting the levels of the predictive stroke. So you may use or apply that one in order for you to draw straight lines. But as a disclaimer, predictive strokes will not be perfect lines all the time. That's why it's just a way for me to outline the specific parts of said species in case this case it's Garfield. Sorry if I'm stuttering, but so what I'm doing here is that I'm just tracing the parts that will be really important in order to create the image that indeed we have an animal here. So what I'm doing is I'm tracing the face of Garfield and his features. So in here, I'm outlining the face first, then followed by outlining his nose and adding some additional details, and then that will be it. So you can notice once the image is hidden, you can see at the right side of the screen the layers where you can hide the images and the drawing spots. So what I did here is the first layer would be a simple outline, and then I duplicated said layer by clicking the said layer first there on the right side. So just focus on how it's done. So once I did that, I continued with the symmetry. This time around, I made use of a ruler, so to maximize the concept of straight lines. And then from there, started drawing random figures and triangles. I have to make sure first here that I will be able to close said figures because a triangle is a closed figure. In order for the next step to work, you have to make sure that your figures are close so that when you fill them with colors, the colors will not extend amongst the boundaries that you wish for it to do. So as you can notice, I have to make sure that the triangles here are close, and from there on, I continue this process as I liked, to the point that I am satisfied now with the way that it looks. So I added more details. It's kind of like a robotic kind of style or vibe that I've been looking for with the outlines. So I keep doing that. And then once it's all said and done, I'm able to create this outline of Garfield that looks like a robot. Now here's the part where you have to make sure that you follow the instructions carefully. You have to make sure that the coloring will be correct. Now, here's another thing that you have to do in order to make sure that the filling of colors will not have a problem. Duplicate your layer once again, the final outlines, so that you will not have a problem with your outlines later. So what you will do here is once you duplicated the layers is that you will color the layer below, and the layer above will remain as an outline, so that when you continue putting the colors like here, when you're filling it up on the second layer, please be careful on what layer you're putting the colors in. Do not put on the other layers. That's why there is an option here in Autodesk where you can hide certain layers for the meantime while you're sketching. So as you can notice here in the color scheme of things, there is a color wheel, and this color wheel has tons of colors and different kinds of shades. And all you have to do is to maximize that concept. So you can notice, if I'm not mistaken, this is all shades of, it's kind of orange, but not really orange orange. But all of them are still different colors, and we're still following the instructions that congruent figures should have the same colors. In this case, they have different color shades, so it still follows the rules. Because again, if you use the same color for figures, that will imply that they are congruent. If you use the same shade of a certain color for certain figures, even though they're not congruent, then that will make you incorrect. So you have to make sure you're following instructions carefully here. So once you fill them up, you can also have another layer below, which you can notice again, in order for you to have a background. You may design the background as much as you want to. And again, you can have a much better color skill, because mine is not that good here, to be honest with you. I think I just click random colors, but I can improve the colors here pa by working on the layer that I did with outlines and just doubling it and repeating the thing over again. So I could do something like that. So again, it's not a matter of having the image being symmetrical all the time. It's your choice, but it's the easiest one because the application is helping you already in drawing congruent figures. So it's your choice on how you would like to do it. So you can apply this also in different drawing applications. They all have the concept of symmetry, ruler, and predictive stroke in there. It's also your choice on what kind of pen or pencil, or maybe even a brush for your coloring and outlining. But I suggest when you outline, either use a marker or a ballpoint pen. So you can notice that by clicking here for Autodesk, the left side of the screen, and then for other applications, you may look for tutorials on that one, or you may try it out on your own. It's much better for you to do discovery here. As much as possible, make sure that the colors, or when you're filling up, you don't double click it because it will distort the outline. When you fill the figures with colors, just click it once. So you have to be careful there. So I'm just using my fingers. It doesn't matter. Use a ruler. The ruler, again, is part of the applications. So it's your choice. So you may save this image and then put it on PowerPoint or whatever devices that you use in order to add additional design if you want to, as much as possible. Again, your figure should have at least 10 pairs of congruent triangles. And that will be it. So here's Garfield as a digital geometric artwork. And for other things that I would like to add, since I recorded that video like a couple of days ago, and there are also things that you can check out in those digital applications. There are options where I will put screenshots on the screen where you can check out the concept of using a line instead of drawing it on your own. This helps out in guaranteeing that the lines that will be drawn are straight, so that you'll be able to form your triangles better. This feature also works even if the symmetry feature is also on. So, if you draw a line on the left, it has happens to the right. Please take note that the symmetry option, you can move it from left to right, no matter how much you would like it to be moved. So that helps out if your artwork isn't symmetrical from left to right. I hope that one is clear though. Meaning to say again, the thing, you can move it from left to right so that you can guarantee more congruent triangles in different sides of your artwork. At the same time, for the colors, you may check out this website called coolers.co, where you will see a bunch of what do you call this? They call it like color palettes, I guess, where you will be able to like check out different kinds of colors so that you will be able to have a lot of options and kind of know what what style you would like to go to, because sometimes it's difficult to think of colors and shades that complements with one another, so you may want to check that out. Now you might be wondering, how can these be used in your artwork? Well, not only does it work for digital applications, but also in PowerPoint. If you're making your output there is an option where it says color picker. So you can simply drag that one. I think it's either color picker or eyedropper, if I'm not mistaken. So you may just simply drag that one and then point it at a certain color in that certain slide that you would like to work on. And with that, you will be able to use that color either for a specific part of your artwork or maybe even for the background. And one of the things also that I would like to mention, when doing your geometric artwork for this one, it's important that you follow the instructions indicated in the peta. Well, basically, you're being asked to have congruent triangles, and you should make sure that only those triangles that are congruent should have the same color. Because, again, that's the purpose for you to apply the skills that you have learned in triangle congruence, in identifying and making sure that they are congruent. And again, maximize the tools that you have. You can do it. Now, also an advice or a tip, if you're not inclined on working on it in any of the digital applications, you may use PowerPoint or Canva, but I still suggest that you draw an outline or create an outline first. And from there, you move around those triangles, rotate them no matter how much you like to rotate them in order to fit the outline. Having an outline is good, especially for beginners. If you're already good at it, you may basically work on it blank. It's your choice, but again, have a reference image to make it better. And I guess that will be the best one, the best thing that I could suggest. Have a reference image, maximize the use of colors. Again, you don't have to copy the color of the species that you have. It's a matter of being artistic, right? And following instructions. No matter what color you use, no matter what shade it is, as long as you follow that, congruent triangles should have the same shade, and you will not have any problem with that. And always remember that you're thinking how important this one is. This is going to help you out a lot. Maybe even, you know, you're going to be in love with doing this, because me personally, I learned how to do digital artworks back in 2020, and I've been doing it since then. So the improvement that I had from the first time that I tried it to now is way too far. So maybe you'll like it, maybe it will stick with you. It's a good skill to have. Not only are you practicing the concept of geometry and art, maybe you'll find a hobby, maybe even a passion. Who knows? So just give it a chance. And that ends this video. Finally, I'm sweating. It's hot in here. So I have no choice but to turn off the electric fan so that you can hear me clearly. But anyway, always remember to take your time, as the wind still rises, go with it. Do not worry too much. You can do it. And always remember, in case you don't see me, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Bye bye, everyone. Peace out. Respect.